Alright, so the first thing I'm unboxing here is the Tamron 28 to 75 millimeter lens f2.8 that I just got. And this is going to be paired with my new Sony A7IV, which I'm super excited to make videos with because I've been using my iPhone the whole time, which iPhone looks great and all, but real camera is where it's at. So this is a full frame camera and I got a full frame lens. And Tamron's a pretty good manufacturer just from doing research on it. Them and Sigma and of course the Sony lenses all are good brands to go with. And this is a zoom lens, and I wanted to get the 24 to 75 because that way I could get pretty good wide angle for video clips just like this one, while still being able to zoom in and take some photos and or maybe even some different cinematic zoom angles that I wanted to get. So 24 to 75 and f2.8 is still a pretty good focal stop for me. It helps get a good background blur the lower that number is, and 2.8 is a pretty good middle ground. You can go lower with prime lenses, so if this was just a 24 mil, then I could probably get a better f number there, but this is plenty good for me, especially for a first lens and price as well. So opening the box for the camera, first thing comes out is the battery and the plug, and then it just comes with one battery, pretty standard for the Sony cameras. Eventually I'll probably get a couple more and get like a dual bay, or I don't even know if they make like 4 bay chargers for having multiple batteries, so that way I can charge up all my backups and just be ready to go. So on the top of this camera, you get a dial and you can select if you want to shoot in automatic, manual mode, or one of 3 settings that you can basically pre-program, as well as if you have like a shutter priority or aperture priority type of a setting. And then the dial right below that, there's actually, you can change quickly by pressing a little button and moving the dial on the bottom part. You can change between video, photo, and then slow or quick video. And the slow and quick video is pretty cool because you can have, if you shoot a lot of slow-mo or fast motion video, you can quickly have that already set up, just switch the mode, and then you can be shooting in slow-mo and you don't have to worry about messing around with it in post. It's already good to go. So on the top as well, we have the ability to control your shutter speed. So that's the bottom left dial. You can just turn it and it'll change basically the speed that your shutter opens and closes for a video or a photo. And then the dial to the right of that, I actually changed to my ISO, so that way I can just turn it with the dial instead of having to click on the menu below. Then you have the orange circle for movie mode. You can press record and start your recording. And C2 is another customized button, and that one pulls up the menu that basically changes the autofocus modes, so you can quickly access them there. Of course, you have the on and off switch, so you just push it left or right, kind of in a little circle pattern, and that'll turn your camera on or off. And then you can press the photo button in the middle of that, and that'll take your pictures for you. And if you kind of do like a half press, it'll autofocus for you wherever you're, depending on what your focus mode is set to, it'll focus in that area. And then on the very front, you can just see it. There's like a little bit of a wheel on the front, and that'll change your focal length. So you can just scroll that and it'll change your focal length. And then on the, I guess, back side, the side that faces you when you're using the camera, you got C1, which I've just left. These are kind of like custom buttons, I guess C custom. But I just left them as they are. So C1 is the first button, first customizable button that you have on the back side of the camera, and that is for white balance by default, but you can pretty much change that to however you want it to be. And then you have the autofocus button, which is pretty much just kind of triggering your autofocus mode that you have set already and just forcing it to focus. And with the little thumb pad below that, it kind of does the same thing by default. If you click it in, it's pretty much the same button. So again, though, you can kind of customize these things if you want to. And then the wheel below that, you can see if you click to the right, you can change your ISO values. If you click to the top part of it, it'll change the display on your screen, so you can have customized displays depending on what's more valuable for you to see on the screen. And if you go to the left, it tells you something else. And if you click the left button, I don't really know what it does because I'm in manual exposure mode, so it does something cool if you're in automatic exposure. But I prefer shooting manual, so I'm not really sure what it does, and I haven't had enough time to play around with it yet. And then the bottom left button there is the playback, so you can look back at any photos or videos you've taken, just kind of look through them and see if you like them. You can delete them right there if you want, with the little trash can button. So on the right side of the camera is actually where the SD cards are. So it has 2 bays. And basically you can see me opening it here. You just flick it down, you slide the switch down, push out, and then it'll flip open. So it took me a second to figure that out. In the settings, you can kind of change how you want the files to save. You can save to both SD cards at the same time. If you just have one in, you can save it to either slot 1 or 2. There's a lot of different ways you can set it up depending on your priority. So if you have like one that fills up, you have a second card, it'll start going into the second card. So you can customize that however you want. Then of course we have the nice flip out screen on the back side. And this camera also has a big viewfinder, which will automatically switch from your screen display to the viewfinder when you're looking at it. And then the menu button and another C button are on the left side over the top of the screen. And that custom button will change the autofocus type, so you can set to either autofocus continuous or like manual focus, that type of thing. So going through the ports kind of from the top down, so the top port is your audio in. And for those of you that have something like a Rode Video Micro, where it's just powered by the 3.5mm jack, if you aren't using an externally powered microphone, make sure that you have a cable that has 2 stripes on it on both ends. So if you look at the tip of the cable, there's like 1 black stripe, a second black stripe. Sometimes there's like a 3rd or a 4th black stripe. For the camera to work, you need both ends to have 2 black stripes. So both into the mic and into the camera. It took me a while to get this video started because I did not know that. So then in the little panel below that is the headphone audio, so you can actually output to some type of audio device and listen to the audio that's being recorded. And then below that you have your USB-C, which you can use for charging. I believe you can also use that for just pulling the files off, but I always use the SD card. I pull the SD card out and put it into my laptop. And then there's a micro USB as well. And then on the top left corner, we have the HDMI out. So you can pretty much put this on another monitor display of some kind. Typically probably gonna use this for like a real video shoot where you're trying to show like the director or something, the video you're shooting. So that's the camera so far. And if you didn't notice it, I'm recording right now with it. So what do you think? I think it's pretty cool. Been playing around with it. A lot of the photos in the beginning, those were all taken with the camera. So I've pretty much just been playing around with it since I got it and just kind of learning all the functions. There's a lot of settings to go through. So if anyone here that's watching this is interested in like learning more about the camera or learning more about photography or videography in general, let me know in the comments below. And I'm gonna keep trying to make videos, so FPV videos, all that kind of thing. That's gonna be my thing. So just stick around if you're interested in it. And make sure to click on this video up here, or up here. This video up here. I don't know, I'm new to this. If you want to learn more about FPV, how much it costs, and just what it takes to get into the hobby. If you're not, that's okay. Make sure to like and subscribe and stick around for some more videos. And I'll be making plenty more talking about this camera and just video content in general. So yeah, make sure to stick around. Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.